host for today's special on Pangea.
And I'm William, your co-host, and welcome to Earth Today.
First, we'll be talking to our weatherman, Christian.
Thank you. Today in Tucson, it is a bright and sunny 79 degrees. Now to take a look at our channel satellite to see what Tucson was like 200 years ago. Why don't you look at that? Tucson is right under the equator, where the weather will approximately be 150 degrees. Not all weather was the same across Pangea. We are looking at a multitude of different temperatures. Mega monsoons, super hurricanes, and volcanic eruptions are affecting the weather of Pangea. What caused all these natural disasters to form was the heating of the interior core, which led to the rise of volcanoes. In places such as Laurasia, they would receive the most amount of solar insolation, which would lead to mega monsoons. Finally, the super hurricanes were a common natural disaster. There are about 29 storms that were discovered. The most notable hurricane was Panthaleza, which was the strongest hurricane during the period.
Thank you, Christian, for the informative weather update.
Next up, we're so excited to bring in Dr. Glantz for a fun rundown on how the Earth's continents have shifted over time.
Thank you so much for having me.
So what exactly is Pangea?
Pangea is a conglomerate of the 7 continents we know today. About 200 million years ago, it was the only continent, and it resided along the equator.
So you're telling me the continents were all connected?
Exactly. For example, today we know that Africa and South America are separated by the Atlantic Ocean. However, 200 million years ago, they shared a land border. Back then, Recife, Brazil used to be less than 100 kilometers from Yaoundé, Cameroon, whereas today they are separated by 5,309 kilometers.
So then what caused Africa and South America to drift apart?
Due to a triple junction formed by massive lava flows breaking through the Earth's crust, Africa and South America were split into 2.
Thank you. That was very insightful.
And now we're going to go to our local elementary school and see what 5th graders know about continental drift. I'm here with 5th grader Nikki, and we're going to give her a pop quiz about Pangea. Nikki, how fast did the continents move in Pangea?
I didn't even really know that they moved, but I know Pangea is a continent, so I'm going to say really fast, like a car.
Yeah, so Pangea actually moved for the first 40 million years 1 millimeter per year.
After that, 10 million years later, it moved 20 millimeters per year and slowly got faster every year after that.
What's a millimeter?
Well, a millimeter is about the length of your belly button. So if you picture that, every single year it moves 1 belly button.
Cool.
You're welcome.
Wow, they really don't know much.
And now we have our in-depth special explaining the phenomenon of continental drift.
Continental drift is broken apart into 5 distinct periods. Since the Permian period, which was about 290 to 248 million years ago, the continents have shifted very far from where they once were. Back in this period, all the continents were stuck together in one giant landmass. It wasn't until the Triassic period, around 200 million years ago, that Pangea started to break apart. Halfway through the Triassic period, we finally started to see the first signs of the shifting. Pangea was split into 2, creating 2 landmasses, Laurasia and Gondwana. The next period, the Jurassic, is characterized by the separation of Laurasia breaking apart into North America and Eurasia, and Gondwana into Antarctica, Madagascar, India, Australia, and the still combined Africa and South America. The end of the Cretaceous period is when all of the present-day continents were finally separated from each other by large oceans, though the continents are still not at all in the same location as they are today. Present day, the continents are where we know them, but everyday plates are continuing to shift, pushing continents in different directions at a faster rate than any other time period before.
The continents drift. The continental drift phenomenon is all due to plate tectonics. This is how plate tectonics work. The Earth's outermost layer, the lithosphere, is broken apart in large, rocky plates that sit on a bed of magma called the asthenosphere. When parts of the lithosphere break apart, magma from the mantle underneath is squeezed up and create new rock. When it cools down, it forms new oceanic crust. On the other hand, when plates converge, they can either collide and create huge rocky mountain ranges, or the opposite can happen, and one plate can sink down deep into the seafloor. This is what is responsible for many of the mountain ranges you see all across the globe. All these movements of Earth's plates shape the Earth and what it looks like. and are responsible for the shifting continents.
That's it for today on Earth Today News. Thanks for tuning in.